Hello, MyEO women, and welcome to our Summit Deep Dive. Today, we're going to be taking you on a day-by-day agenda through the fun, and we're going to be talking about the cultural connections, our once-in-a-lifetime events that will be happening in Marrakesh, and all the exciting things that are going to be coming up in June. With me today is the mastermind of Marrakesh himself, Walter Stuger, past member of EO Berlin, DC, and at large, and also the founder of Inspiria and our wonderful, incredible event planner. Walter and Inspiria have truly done it all. Global universities in Istanbul and Buenos Aires, regional conferences, MyEO, chapter and forum retreats, and they were also the summit coordinators last year in Barcelona. So all of you that had a great time in Barcelona last year enjoyed all of Walter and his team's events. So with that today, I'm going to turn it over to Walter so he can tell us a little bit more about what we can expect in Marrakesh.
Well, Laura, first of all, thank you so much for making us part of this journey again. It's so exciting to be not only in Barcelona, but now moving on to a different continent. Now we are moving to Africa and we're connecting with Africa and the Arab world in this part of the world. And I'm always super also personally excited to be part of MyEO Women. As a guy, makes it especially challenging and exciting at the same time, because every time I learn about the things, how you do things and how we do it together and how we create these amazing events together. So just to dive into that, Marrakesh, and I think that's a little bit the background of how we started out to really evolve the topic and the theme of that. Marrakesh is all about connecting. And Marrakesh, as you geographically, when you look at it, it basically connects Central Africa and Europe. So it is basically a crossroads where you have all different kinds of influences and all different kinds of backgrounds that actually meet there. And this is why we connect in Marrakesh, and we will do it as it's been done for hundreds and thousands of years. And this is what we're going to do.
So exciting to be taking this journey with you. And I know you guys are going to take us into all the nooks and crannies of Marrakesh. So let's talk about Marrakesh. We recently released the schedule, details for the summit and the post-trip, but there's so much more that we can talk about. There's only so much that we can actually talk about on the webpage, which is why we're going to spend some time today here learning more, feeling more, connecting more, so that we actually have a better idea for what it is that we're going to be experiencing when we're in Morocco. So it starts on Sunday morning and with an optional EO leadership training. So this is for if you are on your chapter board, if you want to be on your chapter board, if you want to learn more about how EO works as far as the process, the overall structure. This is for you. We'll be talking about the resources that you have available for you, and also just trying to develop your EO leadership, path of leadership. So if that's something that you're interested in exploring more, you can join us on Sunday morning. And then Sunday afternoon, the first true summit event will be our speed networking, if you will. And this is really an opportunity for those of us to come together and connect before we go to our first social on Sunday night. So you'll have the opportunity, hopefully we'll make enough time for 3 rounds, but you'll be at a table with 7 other attendees, and then we'll go to round 2, 7 new, and then, like I said, hopefully we'll have time to do a 3rd one. So you'll know exactly names, parts of the world that the person came from, of at least 20 people before you even get to dinner. So really exciting to try and find some ways to have everyone connect. In addition to the amazing Zoom calls that we've been having, those have been outstanding, and we have one more planned in April, and then we have the forum mashup that Patty Draghi will be leading us in May. So that's all of the connections that we have. And then I am actually going to have Walter tell us about what we can expect starting with our first night reception and social, and then we can go from there. So Walter?
Laura, as you pointed out, it's all about connecting people, and it's all about connecting cultures and the backgrounds of how we do things and how we see them. And what better place could we have than, you know, the Sofitel Imperial in Marrakesh, which is with its magnificent gardens and garden architecture and the just stylish way of how it's being presented. I always call it a little bit Paris meets meets Morocco. So that's a little bit of a style of a high profile, but still at the same time, very cozy and very intimate kind of atmosphere, which is the best way of how we can connect. But what we actually do then is to really set out on a journey into a deep dive into the culture of Marrakesh we'll board horse carriages that will actually take us from the place of the hotel into the city center, where we get a deeper dive into the culture there. We ride the horse carriages there, and we actually ended up at the central square of connection in Marrakesh and in northern Africa, really, which is Janal Fna, which was the connection between the Central African countries and cities, and then to the northern parts, connecting the Mediterranean. And Janal Fna is basically what this whole summit is about. It's about connecting, because there the traders from the south came, and from the north, there the merchants, the entrepreneurs were there at the square, and with them the entertainers and the jugglers and the royal entertainers that just created an incredible atmosphere with the flavors, the tastes, and everything you can think of that is 1001 Night in Marrakesh. So we end up there. We'll have a look around the square and the entertainment there with the snake charmers. And then we walk into the areas of the bazaar of the souk, where you will meet traders. Well, you get a little bit of an impression, and we end up at a place that is very unique, but I think we should leave some surprises, right? So let's look into this a little bit later on.
Thank you for that teaser as to what to expect on the first night. So then leading into Monday, which will be our full day of learning, we have really spent a lot of time trying to have as global of a representation of speakers and topics, all leading to that connect theme. We currently have speakers from Asia Pacific and Canada and MEPA and Europe and the US. So, and we're still evaluating, we're still waiting to promote and announce more in the coming days. So just going to be amazing overall high caliber level of speakers that will be provided to us for our learning, which will be the majority of the day on Monday before we head into our dine arounds on Monday night. Walter, you want to share a little bit more about those?
Absolutely. I think Marrakesh and the Arab world is the ideal place to go to dine arounds, because it's not just about restaurants. It's about how you connect, how you get the feeling and dive into the culture of what it is. And in Marrakesh, you find a number of places that are called riads. So riads is a typical way that goes back to the Islamic world of how houses were presented. So when you basically walk along the roads and the streets there, you have no idea what is actually hidden behind these walls. So you have very high walls, but still at the same time, you have a new world to discover once you enter this. So in small little groups, we'll set out to create that intimate atmosphere. And basically, when you stand then in front of the doors and we open them up, you will walk into areas that are full of green and gardens and lavish decorations and ponds and water. It's basically the representation of what Arab-style paradise needs to be. It's the garden within the homes and the houses and the courtyards of these places. So in small little groups, we'll give you a deeper dive on the one hand into the culture of Morocco, but on the other hand also to give you the opportunity to connect. And obviously what you will have during that night is a lot of things to taste, new flavors, new spices, new fragrances, a lot to discover for you.
The final day, which will be Tuesday, we will start our day with learning again. And this day is when we also have the opportunity to welcome some of the newest members of EO that are in Morocco. And so we will be spending our time talking about women and the way that MyEO Women works. And also we'll be working in the morning. We'll have a final speaker before lunch, and then we will have some offsites in the afternoon. So, Walter, tell us a little bit more about what we can expect from the offsites.
I think the offsites here are more of an experience and less of an offsite. It's just from a geographical perspective, you're leaving the hotel, but basically it's a new experience that you will have, and you will connect with people there once you're on site. We give you different options. So basically it's for you to decide what you want to do. It's all on a first come, first serve. So I know what's going to happen. It will be signed up pretty quickly. So you better get online as soon as we do that. I think it's the 18th of May, but you will we'll provide some more information once you can do that. It's basically about an idea of the gardens of Marrakesh, which is a topic that most of you have seen pictures of, Majorelle Garden, which is basically an incredibly beautiful garden that was created by a guy called Majorelle and later on redesigned by Yves Saint Laurent. So what you see on these iconic pictures of Marrakesh is what it is. But at the same time, we want to give you something that you would not expect, because there are other gardens in Marrakesh that are unique and different. And we'll take you to one of them, which is called Anima, and which was created by this incredible artist called Andre Heller, who also worked with Swarovski, for example, with dresses and outfits and different ways of how the world needs to look like. So we'll get you an idea of what the idea of the gardens in the Arab world are, which is basically a representation of paradise. So that's your first trip to paradise, and you will surely enjoy that. Another option for you will be to set out and get a deeper dive into the spices and the fragrances of Morocco. So you have the idea of going to 2 workshops, getting a little bit more information on how you can combine what is the right fragrance for you, how do you combine that, and what do you do? And at the same time, give you an idea of what kind of spices are unique and different that you have never seen and never tasted. So that would be a second option. And the third one is basically really to dive into the culinary world of Morocco and Marrakesh and really have a hands-on experience as you recreate that experience and you dive into this world of Moroccan culinary delicacies. So a lot for you to discover, and it's a la carte. So first come, first serve. So I'm sure you will all be excited to get the feeling and the idea of what this world is about.
Excellent. They're going to be, and you're exactly right. They are not just offsites, they are actual embedded into the culture experiences. So thank you for sharing about that. And then we have our final night dinner in the desert. And that is going to be incredible. And we're thinking that we might have the photo shoot just before that. So tell us a little bit more about what we can expect from dinner in the desert.
Well, I think I get already goosebumps just thinking about it, because it's such a unique thing and so incredibly stunning. And whatever you think about 1001 Night needs to be, or whatever book you've read about it, it will be 1001 and beyond. It is a totally different experience as we set out to drive into the deserts area, which actually just start, on the edges of Marrakesh, and before you actually go into the Atlas mountain range. And what we have set up there for you is an incredible tent village city that has royal dimensions and a background that is just incredible. You will walk along the red carpet on the sand, and then suddenly you will have these tents that give access to royal entertainment, to royal delicacies, and to royal experience. But you can surely have your night underneath the Moroccan stars as you look up there and you've connected already with your crowd and with your people there. And it's basically for you to enjoy. It's basically to sit down, enjoy your dinner, enjoy your entertainment. But let's leave it a little bit up to discover and what it is. So at least I hope we can start your imagination, but it's for you to really experience that. And it's truly and ultimately one of these once in a lifetime moments that you surely will discover and you will surely enjoy.
I am so excited that we've been able to share a little bit more with everyone today. So for those of you that have already registered, we can't wait to see you. If you have not yet registered, now is the time. You want to make sure you have the first dibs on those offsite immersive experiences. And we want to make sure that we have a spot available for you, because we are coming to capacity, which is so exciting as well. I know that MyEO women are looking to connect and reconnect, and we have a lot of first timers this year, which is so exciting. And so we can't wait to welcome you in Morocco. So